Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Making Sense of Real Estate. You're in the REMAX Unlimited Results Realty International Headquarters, and I'm here with the two Toms today.
That's right.
We got Mr. Tom Jagucki and Tom Zirm of Old Fort Bank has joined us.
Howdy, everybody.
We're doing a little Q&A here. All week we've been covering different topic, or the same topic, pre-approval letters. We're going to dive into a whole lot more here, but we needed a pro for the mortgage side of it for pre-approval letters. So
I like it.
We
The
got
pro.
Mr. Tom Zirm here, Old Fort Bank. So questions we've covered already. We'll go back over, see if I got it right. So I covered it. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to have you talk about it.
Sure.
So the first question we had, these are questions we got from the public.
Yep.
How do I start the pre-approval process?
First thing right off the bat is contact either your local lender. I said whoever you feel comfortable with. If it's your bank, if it's a broker you know, whoever you feel comfortable with, that you feel good about the process, contact them and they'll be able to walk you through the process of getting you pre-approved. What I usually do is I want to get documentation from them. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to look at what it is you're looking for. Kind of price range are you thinking about, how much you're thinking about, what you want to put down. Then we'll focus on what we're going to find out as far as a product goes. And we'll go from there.
Okay.
But that's the start off.
Other side of it, a lot of people say, should I get pre-approved?
Absolutely.
A lot of times people say, I want to start looking first. I want to whatever. So
get pre-approved first, because then you're not wasting your guys' time. You're going to feel more confident showing the properties to them.
And to peel off of that is should I get pre-approved? I might be showing somebody a house that's $180,000 and they can only afford $150 in their family's budget.
Exactly.
Yep. And we're honestly
we
more.
Make sure we're not showing them things that they. I don't want to show you a Ferrari. And then
You're right.
You're not quite there.
A lesser brand.
Right.
Sure.
When you got Scirocco pricing. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'm with you.
So and then too, we don't want to waste our sellers' time either. Then.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of work for them to get packed up and moved out, get the kids, the dog. Let's go. Get the house cleaned up, and then that buyer may or may not be able to afford the place.
Absolutely.
Playing off of that, especially with as fast as the market is ripping.
Yeah.
I'll get into that a little bit later with the market update for you.
All right, second topic.
Second question, how long does it take and what all are you going to need for that process to get that pre-approval?
What I usually want to get, and I've actually got a form here that I send to almost everybody I talk to. And I'll send you this quick employment information. It's got a lot of the basic info, name, date, address, social security number, date of birth, if you're not one of my one of our clients already at the bank. And on it, it also has a lot of the information that we want to get, such as pay stubs. We're going to want to get your W-2s. We want to get your bank statements if they're not with us, so that we can see what your asset situation is. We can see what your credit situation. We're definitely going to pull credit. And we'll get into that. I know the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approval. But we want to see what items, what issues may pop up there that may slow you down in the process.
Okay.
So we want to verify your income, want to verify your credit. We want to verify your assets.
Okay. And so the first part of that, how long does that take? If somebody can fill out that paperwork and get it back to you and get you the stuff that you need,
Honestly,
how long should that process take?
It can take anywhere from a couple minutes, truthfully, to a couple days. It depends on everybody's situation.
Okay.
If you're self-employed and you've got a lot of question marks as far as how your income shows up, it might take a little extra review time. But usually, if it's pretty straightforward stuff, we can usually get you pre-approved right away. So, and in talking to you, I'll be able to kind of give you more information on that right away, too.
It's a lot of predicated on how quickly they get the information to you.
Yes,
then.
absolutely.
So, yep.
Good.
All right. Now, you touch on this. We run into this all the time. Pre-qualified versus pre-approval. Nothing I like better more than let's go look at houses, and I get that wonderful pre-qualification letter.
And it can be confusing because the term can be interchangeable.
Sure.
We have a letter now that's brand new that got approved by everybody, and it says pre-qualification. My pre-qualification is a pre-approval. Mm-hmm. And what the difference is, a lot of people will do a pre-qualification where they're kind of giving you some generic numbers. Mm-hmm. You tell me what your income is, what are your debts, I'm going to give you some, and I'm not going to do this because I'm not pre-qualifying. I like the pre-approval.
Sure.
Because I want to see it. But they'll say, here's some generic ideas as far as your debt-to-income ratio. They're not pulling credit, so they're saying, okay, you're pre-qualified to go look at houses at X.
Sure.
I want that pre-approval, and I think my client is going to feel much more confident knowing he pulled credit, he looked at my income, he saw everything. Here's your pre-approval. And yes, it says pre-qualification, and that does. It drives me a little crazy, too, because I want it to be pre-approved, and it is pre-approved. I'm not going to send somebody to you guys that I said, well, we had a conversation on the phone, so he should be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to.
And that's, I guess, our frustration is that then too. We
Yes.
know that word is interchangeable. Every bank is different how they do
Right.
it, but it's when we say, how do you do that? Well, I plugged a couple numbers online and they
Right.
kicked me out so they didn't check anything.
pre-qualification.
It's just the information you provided, correct?
Right.
Yeah, you might
And
want
that-
to talk to somebody else.
In the real estate side and helping our clients, and your clients are our clients and interchangeable, the part of that gets a little bit confusing is we want to be able to present our offer on a property to be the strongest offer possible
Right.
within the price point. So having a pre-approval compared to a pre-qualification to the seller of the property is much more appealing for a pre-approval than a
Absolutely.
pre-qualification.
Yeah, especially with this
So
market.
trying
Sellers
to win.
looking at 4 offers there, and
Exactly.
you got no letter, maybe a pre-qual, and then an
a
actual
pre-approval.
pre-approval letter from.
Pre-approval is top
Yep. Yep.
from
And
a
I'll-
seller's perspective.
I usually try to tell, especially if I'm sending it to you guys, and tell them you have been pre-approved. We've seen the credit, we've seen the income, we've got a good debt to income, we know what we're looking at. So
Yep. And you guys are great about keeping us informed with that too. Then
we
so
hope. Thank you.
appreciate that.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
So moving forward, is a pre-approval a guarantee? What all are you going to need to know for us to have, is it a guarantee?
There's nothing in this world that's guaranteed.
Okay, perfect.
That's the downside. The good side is, for the basics of it, I shouldn't even say for the basics of it. For the most part, if we've looked at it and you've got W-2 income, traditional pay, you've got the assets to cover, we've looked at the product. Other than issues popping up on the property, where there might be title issues, there might be a problem in the basement, walls are bowing, something like that pops up, you're pretty much going to make it through.
Sure.
Unless someone decides, and I think we're going to cover it here a little bit later, they decide to spend all their money,
Yep.
make large charges on their credit card.
Well, we got
and-
some good stories with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that definitely has happened. But all of those kinds of things can, things can pop up.
Yep.
You get laid off. Right now we've got a lot of clients out there, and again, I know it's another question about being approved. Can you get approved while being unemployed due to the COVID? No, sadly. It's just like being traditionally unemployed. If you're unemployed, that's not allowable income. But those things can pop up and happen, and that can, obviously that would kind of null and void. And it says it too,
Right
in
on
that
the letter.
prequal, in that that things can happen.
Sure.
Basically. So,
And that's kind of the questions we had with that is a lot of times they see that they don't look at anything dot below that. I'm pre-approved. I got
Right.
X amount of dollars available
But
to
a lot
me.
of times in that pre-approval, it might state you need closing cost participation from the seller.
right.
Yep. You have
So
to
there
sell
are
your
some
home.
caveats.
You have to-
Yeah.
Contingency.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's other caveats that we need to be aware of with that pre-qualification or pre-approval.
And I know I try to put that on there. I think other lenders do as well.
Sure.
Because if it's contingent upon a sale, I want you to know that.
Yep.
Because your seller's going to want to know that.
Exactly.
Sometimes
wanna-
to that point, I know that doesn't always, not with you guys, but with some, it doesn't
Right.
happen because you ask, okay, we're going to 123 Main Street, you want to buy it, fantastic. Do you need to sell your home? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
You probably want to, I get that, but we probably
have-
need to know that as part of your offer then.
Yeah, we
so,
cover that
yeah.
right off the bat. Actually, had that conversation just this morning with somebody of, are you planning on selling? And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, well, talk to your realtors because I
Sure.
think you will be able to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So, all right, so it's not a guarantee. There are some stipulations, and that's
Items- right.
all right. Okay, you kind of touched on this. So if you're currently unemployed due to COVID, can I qualify? Because I know several people right now that are, currently bringing in more money than when they were working. So
Sadly, unemployment income is a unallowable source of income.
Okay.
So, sadly, no.
okay,
Not
all
until
right.
you go back to full time, which I think goes into our next one. I think.
Well, you got to wait for time. You got to wait for the other Tom.
the setup.
Don't get
I'm
ahead
sorry.
of us here.
I'm sorry.
One of the questions that came in was, since I already had a pre-approval letter, shouldn't the buying process go faster?
It should. In some respects, it just depends on where you were when you got pre-approved, how long
Okay.
ago it was. There'll always be updates required because right now, due to the COVID, we have to have pay stubs as up to date as possible. That kind of helps to verify that you are still employed, although we do a verification of employment. We want that updated pay stub, and you actually end up having to bring a pay stub to closing a lot of times just to kind of
Oh, wow,
guarantee that
yeah,
you are
yeah.
still employed.
So the information seeking, and we've heard this from some customers lately, they're saying, gosh, we got them all this stuff a while ago. Why are they asking for the same stuff?
Yeah,
again?
I already gave that to him.
I gave it to them. They're
The
asking for it
dates
again
have
and
to-
again and again.
The dates have to coincide as close to closing as possible.
Okay.
Bank
And that
statements will
makes
be
a
the same thing
Difference.
because we want to make sure that you've still got those assets.
Okay,
you
good.
know.
All right, the $1 million Tom, do you have to pull my credit for a pre-approval letter?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you want me to pull your credit for a pre-approval letter because you want to know that there's not anything out there. How many times we've seen liens that have shown up, tax liens, things like that can cause a problem. Credit cards are past due. Something you want to know what issues are out there. So through the pre-approval process, at the beginning of it, we can see what's happened, and then we can fight that even during that.
Clean it up.
Exactly. We can clean it up and make life a little bit easier once you are under contract. So,
and I guess we run into that occasionally where somebody says, well, I haven't bought a house in 10 years. I haven't really bought anything. Their credit might not look so good because of something that pops up that was 10 years ago or 8 years ago or 5 years ago that they weren't even aware of.
I've seen more Verizon wireless collections.
Yeah.
And here's what had happened. Doesn't matter. It's a collection. It's out there. You got to take care of it. It stinks. And there's always a story, which sadly what ends up happening is you got to get it taken care of.
Sure.
It's got to go.
Or lack of credit too. I'm sure something you want to see that up front might not even be a problem.
Gosh.
Just lack of credit.
We've had some of the folks who do everything all cash all the time, which has become a big thing, and that's great, except that you may not be able to get a loan. You may not be able to get a mortgage because you don't show a credit history. No credit history means no credit score, means no house for you, unless you can buy it with cash. If so, God bless.
Some of those people with a big bag full of change at home, since change is a shortage now. So.
And cash is an unallowable source of down payment. If you have large chunks of change and large money, put it in a bank. It's safe in a bank.
It's
so not going anywhere.
And right before closing, you'd recommend that too, right? Just make money appear? No.
No. Please no.
We always caution people, talk to your lender for if you're doing anything with your money.
Right.
Give Tom a call,
money,
whatever.
If $5,000 appears all of a sudden, Tom needs a reason why.
Absolutely.
Oh, I sold XYZ.
I sold stocks. I moved it from this account to that account.
Exactly.
Well, call him first.
Grandma wrote me a check.
We need it. We need to verify it, and we got to show that Grandma had the money to give it to you. So there's documentation.
Another question from the gallery. I just got a new job. How will this affect me?
If it's a traditional job, regular pay stub type of a job, not a problem.
Sure.
Because we can verify it. We usually have to show that you've got 30 days year to date into it, but we can get that through the process. That doesn't slow you down. Okay. Or if you've gotten a job where you're under contract, you've got a contract from an employer, you're going to start in August, you're making X amount of dollars, we can work with that. Not a problem.
Will you need previous? If it's, hey, I just got a new job. I was working here. I'm now working here.
Yeah, we're going to get your W-2s. We show a 2-year history of employment income, and that's not for qualifying. I mean, we're not using that to base what your income is. That's just to show your history, your employment history. Okay. But going forward, if you're in that 90-day probationary period, that doesn't work.
Not good.
You have to be, because it's considered temporary at that point. Until you're hired full time, then we can use that.
So correct me if I'm wrong too. So if I'm switching jobs and I'm going to a similar type of career, similar job, that's pretty good. But if I go from real estate agent to beehive keeper, that's probably quite a swing. And
and then
you have a program for that?
Self-employed versus actually employed. If you're stopping and switching from regular employment and you're now self-employed and it's been 2 months, no, we have to show a consistent history of self-employed income as well. So, and that's a 2-year history of self-employed income.
Okay.
That gets into a whole,
whole other realm there.
Yes.
Good.
All right. Here's one of our favorite topics, and it seems like we end up teaming up a lot with people because I think they hear it, but they don't always recognize it. Can I buy or order new things for my home? And it's prior to closing then. So
I would prefer you wait.
Yeah.
Wait, because if you take a large draw on a credit card because you bought the washer and dryer and the whole system at Lowe's is $1,200, but that changes. It can possibly change your debt ratio.
Yep.
And that debt ratio could knock you out of qualifying.
So you will rerun that a couple of days before closing. You will take a look at it again to make sure things haven't changed.
There's a system. It's a debt monitoring system that happens during the process. So if any large changes happen to those folks, it'll show up. So we won't rerun your credit, but we'll see that and we'll have to verify what you did so that we can account for that liability.
Sure, and hopefully it doesn't throw
my ratios off. And a lot of times, most people are pretty good about making the call. Hey, Lowe's has got this great thing. I'm going to spend $1,000. If you've got the assets to cover it, and you want to go in there and do,
sure,
yeah, that's fine. Again, let's talk about it first. Just
Talk about it first. That's
yes.
the best,
Until
best
the day you get to closing, everything's a question mark.
Yep.
Till you sign those papers.
We could talk all day on that. We've had people wanting to have bought cars before closing.
Oh, yeah.
We've
Furniture.
had furniture. People standing in line at Lowe's or the furniture store. Oh my God, they got this. I'm like,
90
no,
days same as cash means credit.
Call your
Right,
lender
right.
now. Yeah. Don't let
Yeah.
them pull your credit. Don't buy anything.
Don't go buy the big stinking Lincoln a
Yeah.
week before you're closing.
Yeah.
Just wait a little bit. We'll get it.
Stinking Lincoln. All right.
Well, appreciate those insights.
Sarah,
Those
unless
are
we got any
good-
other questions that
good,
have popped up or not here in the meantime. So, but we'll talk about mortgage rates. We want to touch on the current market here. So, real estate market, interest rates all kind of play hand in hand. What do you got there?
Current market. We got a couple things to talk about. One, let's take a snapshot of the market. Okay. Of the market today.
And we're talking
Tiffin.
Tiffin
We're
or
talking
surrounding
Tiffin
Tiffin area. Yep.
Tiffin.
Yep.
If it's designated as Tiffin in the MLS, in the Firelands MLS, total properties in Tiffin, 47.
For sale. There's 47 of them for sale.
47
So I can go buy
properties.
47 homes.
You should be able to drive around town, and if you were to count signs in Tiffin, you should come up with 47.
Yep.
Wow.
Of those 47, active properties available to purchase, 17.
Oof.
36%.
So
Wow.
from low to high, there's 17. So that means if you're in a particular price point, there might be
2, 3.
0, 1, 2 if you're lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So of that 47, we look at pending. So difference between contingent and pending. Real quick hit. We get that question a lot. Contingent means it's under contract. It's been accepted. We've agreed to terms, but there are contingencies that need to be met. Appraisal needs to be happen and get appraised value be good. Home inspection could be a septic inspection, well inspection, pest inspection, things that need to happen yet before we move to the pending process. Everything's been done. Everything's been agreed upon. We are simply waiting to close the property. That's the pending.
Yep.
Pending that final review from the lender
Yep.
to get
Yep.
us at the closing table.
And they could come back on the market. That does happen, unfortunately,
Correct.
a little more now than what it has.
So
But
there's 25 properties sitting in the contingent category.
Yep.
5 that are sitting in the pending property category. 5 waiting to close. 17 waiting to fill all the needs to get to close.
Yep. So
And only
30 out of the
17.
47 unavailable at the moment.
Exactly.
So, yep.
Wow.
What are the interest rates like? They're pretty high right now, aren't they?
They are crazy good right now. And I always say when you talk about it, you you hate to sound like, hey, come on down for low interest rates. I mean, it's always contingent upon whatever, credit score is going to play a factor into
Sure.
it. Your loan to value, the product that you're going to pick, all those things can play a factor into it. But right now, I mean, as of this morning, on a kind of perfect situation, even with somebody putting down about 5% on a loan, you'd probably be at about 2.625 on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage.
Wow.
Lord.
Wow.
That's a 5% down. There's different products. 3% down loan. It's called a home ready product.
Sure.
It's kind of eliminated for me. It's eliminated a lot of the FHA loans. Thankfully, not a huge. If you can stay away from FHA, you know what? It's not a bad thing. FHA's mortgage insurance now stays for the life of the loan.
Sure.
Not just goes away at 80% like a regular conventional loan does. It's forever. The pricing's not as good, but that product for a lot of my first-time home buyers, if they can put 3% down, you're almost 2.5% fixed.
That's a home ready
Yeah,
program
it's
then? Yeah, that's
I mean,
awesome.
It's crazy. 15-year. This morning I was looking at a 15-year for a purchase was 2 1/8.
Wow.
To
Yeah,
almost,
yeah.
could probably get like 2% fixed. Crazy. So for us, refinances have been through the roof.
Sure.
I mean, this is the busiest I've been, and I've been at Old Fort now almost exactly 16 years, and this is the busiest we've been ever.
Ever? Yeah.
Ever.
That's
And we've been
incredible.
through how many different refi booms,
Yep. Yeah, I remember the last one. This will never
This'll
happen
never
again.
happen
This
again.
is over. It's never going to happen again. Yeah.
You know,
so
We can't go down much more.
Right.
Yeah, no.
There really isn't.
you'll be
much
paying us to borrow money then if it goes a whole lot lower. So.
It seems like, Fannie's going to put a little stop on that, We're
Yeah.
not going to get too low, but they're too good to argue with right now.
Sure.
I mean, so, if there's an opportunity for it. But, it's like the perfect storm. We've got fantastic rates, but we don't have a ton of inventory as far
Right.
as purchases go.
Right.
If you're in a current mortgage, take a look at it, review it, see what your interest rate is, because it may be beneficial. It may also not. It's kind of surprising. If you've got a small balance and you're at a 4% interest rate, it may not be a huge benefit to refi with the costs that are involved, because you might be that low and hitting that much of the principal. So
Right.
So it's
not-
individual to the situation
Yeah,
and what you
right.
got
If
going
you plan on
then,
staying
so.
in the house for the next 10 years, it
Right.
might be fruitful.
Yeah,
If you plan on
exactly.
staying there a year and a half, 2 years, it might not be
Right.
fruitful.
Yeah, I'm selling in 6 months. Should I refi?
exactly.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's and
You should call
Give your
Tom
lend-
and Bill.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
give your lender a call,
Yeah.
talk to them about it. They'll
Yep.
go over it with you.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Good
that's
deal.
all we have for the moment.
Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Making
it coming
sense
in.
of real estate here. Next week's topic: working with a real estate agent. So I don't. We'll bring you back and grill you about that. I don't know. We'll bring you back though. We're not allowed to shake hands. Can't do any of that stuff
Not a
now here.
problem.
We'll appreciate you coming down here.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Really,
stop
this
on
is
back.
fun.
Yeah. Next week we're going to be covering. Each day we'll cover a new topic, and we'll do another Q&A the following Friday. Then. So that's making sense
Thanks,
of real
everybody.
estate, folks. Thank you.
Stay safe.
All right.
Now I can say the F word.
Yeah.
We're still recording.
Welcome.